stop. No one has ever found out what happened to the crew of this ship. Vanished. Yes, we are talking about Mary Celeste, the mysterious ghost ship that had all crew members missing till today. If Titanic got you scared, this might get you living in the fear of water and ships because, for one, Titanic had an explanation for the calamities that happened. This ship, however, does not. At least for now, until we get into the depth of the story. This is a story that will captivate you from start to finish, especially when you find out that there might be a world out there that makes humans disappear without a trace, without explanation. Welcome to Mystery. In this video, we will analyze the event of how this ship went missing, the theories speculated, the mysteries of the sea, as well as answers to the questions asked. Let us journey back using our time capsule, because obviously we are not shipping into the past, to the 19th century, a time when the oceans were the sole means of wealth, connections, and civilization. An era where beautiful ships were built and invested in. The same era Mary Celeste came into existence with her mysterious stories that had the world scared. The Mary Celeste was built on Spencer's Island, Nova Scotia, where it was first launched in 1861 under the name Amazon. The ship, which measured around 103 feet in length and 25 feet in width, was designed as a brigantine. Built to be strong and fast with a gross tonnage of 282 tons, the beauty was appropriate for lengthy ocean voyages. However, even with its strength and swiftness, Amazon experienced its fair share of setbacks. It experienced several mishaps in its early years, such as an English Channel collision and the unexpected passing of its first skipper. It seems this ship has been fated for misfortune, but that did not deter the ship owners from making the ship a commercial production. These events resulted in a name change and a transfer of ownership. Richard W. Haynes, an American mariner, bought the ship in 1868 and transported it to New York. There it received major repairs and was given a new name, Mary Celeste. The ship would go on a number more journeys under this new identity, but none as notorious or as confusing as the mystery trip of 1872. Think about this. It is 1872 when you discovered the biggest maritime mystery in history. The crew of the commercial ship Mary Celeste inexplicably disappeared, and it was found drifting unexpectedly after an ordinary voyage. This is the main suspense of this story. Passengers' possessions were still on the ship, undamaged, freshly prepared food untouched. These things made it even more puzzling. The mystery was heightened by the fact that even the cargo remained in situ. What might have led a skilled captain and his crew to desert a completely seaworthy ship? Were they victims of a notorious attack, a natural calamity, or something much stranger? Most importantly, why has there been no answer to this mystery for more than a century? On November 7, 1872, the Mary Celeste, under the command of the seasoned Captain Benjamin Briggs, set sail from New York Harbor, destined for the shores of Genoa, Italy. On board with the captain were his 7-member crew, accompanied by his wife Sarah and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia. The ship's cargo hold was loaded with 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol, which was destined for the thriving Italian market. The first days of the cruise were quiet, with the ship elegantly sailing the huge Atlantic. However, over a month later, a baffling twist emerged. The Mary Celeste was discovered drifting, a nautical conundrum 400 miles east of the Azores, with no shadow of a living being in it. What exactly happened to this ship? On the afternoon of December 5, 1872, the DEI Gracia sailed across the Atlantic en route to Portugal. Captain David Morehouse, enjoying the mild weather, was taken aback when he spotted the Mary Celeste in the distance. This was normal considering the Mary Celeste had departed from New York a week before the DEI Gracia. It should have been significantly ahead in its journey. To Morehouse's surprise, he observed the Mary Celeste swaying with the waves as if it had lost control. This puzzled him, especially knowing that Captain Benjamin Briggs, who we suspect was his friend, was an exceptionally skilled sailor. He took the bold step of attracting the attention of the sailors on board, but all he got were just silent whispers from the wind. For 2 hours, Morehouse kept a tight eye on Mary Celeste's eastward trip, which seemed to be unhindered but for its odd shaking. Faced with mounting interest and great uneasiness, Morehouse ordered his second-in-command, Olivier Deveau, aboard a small boat to inspect the intriguing ship. When Deveau set sail on the Mary Celeste, he was horrified to see how completely deserted the entire ship was. The entire crew, including Captain Briggs and his wife Sarah and their 2-year-old daughter, had vanished from view. The ship looked clean despite the inexplicable absence of its passengers, with barely any water between the decks and 2 open hatches. However, they quickly realized that the rigging was damaged. The ropes were hanging over the side. The main lifeboat was missing. The fore and lazarette hatches were open. The ship's compass binnacle was moved, and the glass cover was broken. The device for measuring the depth of the water in the hold was left on deck. The daily log of the ship was located in the mate's cabin, and the last entry was dated November 25th, 9 days earlier, and it showed Mary Celeste's position at that time as being just off Santa Maria Island in the Azores. Briggs's documents were scattered all around the damp cabin inside, but the paperwork of the ship and his navigational instruments were missing. There was plenty of food in the stores, but nothing was cooked or in the process of being made. The galley equipment was tidily stored. No overt indications of violence or fire were present, so where could the crew have gone, and why had they left the ship with no guidance? Seeing no one on the ship, Morehouse decided to travel to Gibraltar, taking with him Mary Celeste. He divided the crew between the 2 ships, and after a lengthy, slow journey, both ships arrived in port on December 12, 1872. The testimonials from the rescuers were just as mysterious as the ship. Logbooks, the scene, investigations, everything was scrutinized, but the mystery lingers, leaving behind unanswered questions. Morehouse's story of seeing a deserted ship with all the crew missing did not sit well with many people. The thing is, anyone rescuing a ship can be entitled to a sizable portion of the aggregate worth of the rescued ship and cargo under maritime law. So people had a reason to be suspicious of Morehouse. Maybe he had killed the crew so he could get a share of the money. The proceedings on Gibraltar commenced on December 17, 1872, and continued until March 1873. Gibraltar's Attorney General was Frederick Solly Flood, and the Registrar of the Admiralty Court was Edward Joseph Baumgartner. James Cochran presided as the judge, and Henry Peter Pisani represented D.I. Gracia. Submarine Inspector John Austin and diver Ricardo Portunato inspected the Mary Celeste at Solly Flood's request. An investigation into the Mary Celeste case was carried out by the Admiralty Court. It would decide how much of an award the D.I. Gracia's captain and crew would receive. Frederick Solly Flood, the case's judge, believed that Mary Celeste's abandonment was a result of criminal activity. It was just beyond his comprehension. Flood conducted in-depth interviews with all parties involved in the case and requested inspections, but he was unable to uncover any motive or proof of criminal activity. Ultimately, he gave the D.I. Gracia's captain a meager reward, about 1/5 the cargo value of the Mary Celeste, and dispatched the ship to deliver her load. Many explanations have been proposed throughout the years, ranging from massive octopus or sea monster attacks to rebellion and pirate attacks. Each is more intriguing than the previous, yet none can lift the veil on this oceanic mystery. The more scientifically inclined have hypothesized that the 1,700 barrels of crude alcohol in the ship's hull released vapors that triggered the explosion. Let's discuss some of the theories. While the story claimed that the crew disappeared with no trace, there was something that captured the eyes of the local authorities: blood. The Boston Post claims in February 1873 that the crew was slain by pirates. This conclusion is made given the amount of blood found on board, the objects that appear to have been destroyed or lost, and the evidence of pirate activity. However, in later investigations, it was concluded that the stains were in fact not blood, but most likely food stains. But how could they have known? Technology was not as advanced as now. Anyway, it did not change the fact that after this theory was scrapped, people were left again in mystery. Mary Celeste's cargo of 1,701 barrels of strong alcohol is the subject of an interesting theory. According to the assumption, fumes from leaking barrels may have accumulated and caused a minor explosion, or at the absolute least worried Benjamin Briggs, the captain, and the crew. In this case, Briggs might have given the order to temporarily evacuate to the lifeboat while he waited for the alcohol fumes to clear. However, it's possible that the tow line broke, leaving the crew alone and the lifeboat drifting while they watched the Mary Celeste sail away. Imagine yourself in the middle of the Atlantic, unprotected and alone, a maritime horror. Even though there was no outward indication of a cabin fire, the threat of unburned alcohol fumes remains. When his own family was on board, even a calm and experienced skipper like Briggs would decide to temporarily evacuate the ship. Sadly, what was supposed to be a stopgap measure became a permanent breakup. According to this theory, the Mary Celeste mystery may have been mostly caused by a malfunctioning pump. A broken chronometer may have caused the ship's disorientation, as indicated by Solly Flood's notes and oceanography data. The captain may have made this choice in response to direction changes and choppy seas. One may have been discovered dismantled because the ship's pump was jammed with sawdust and coal. Captain Briggs might not have determined the number of water leaks accurately when the pump was broken, and the cargo hold was jam-packed with industrial alcohol. He might have given the order to abandon the ship near Santa Maria because he was fighting storms, confused, and unsure of the stability of the vessel. In the wide open sea, there is room for speculation regarding the fate of the Mary Celeste, which is still unknown. The critical moment approaches when the wildest speculations collide with the unyielding reality. Official inquiries have attempted to untangle this complicated knot, but the Mary Celeste remains a riddle in the maritime world. The Mary Celeste is a mysterious ship with a history of gaps, missing records, and cast members who have long since passed away. The story's significance hasn't faded with time, any more than our interest in mysteries like the Bermuda Triangle or missing aircraft. Even if death is unavoidable, something is fascinating about fading into thin air and time, something like the vast expanse of the ocean. On the other hand, the final chapter of Mary Celeste is not as mysterious. She was deliberately wrecked off the coast of Haiti in 1884 by a crafty skipper who hatched an insurance scam. We're making a minor transition now, keeping the mystery alive as we near the end of this maritime tale. Part of it is asking where Mary Celeste is now. What happened to it after the whole ghost incident? Well, the Mary Celeste set sail under a new name but kept a mystery following the Gibraltar probe. The ship was cursed for eternity after 13 years of bad luck brought about by multiple owners. Captain George Blatchford assumed leadership in 1874, but by 1879, there had been another ownership change due to financial difficulties. Due to mishaps, the ship's notorious past grew worse, making crew recruiting and expeditions more challenging. The Mary Celeste was fated to fail. By the 1880s, its reputation had disintegrated. Finally, the mystery of the Mary Celeste continues, cloaked in speculation and unresolved questions. The abandoned ship, discovered afloat in 1872 with no indication of a crew, continues to interest historians and enthusiasts alike. Despite various ideas, the crew's exact fate remains unknown. The Mary Celeste is a maritime riddle, reminding us of the huge secrets that can exist in the open sea, leaving a disturbing legacy that withstands time. Forgotten were the remnants of the Mary Celeste. Till today, the question still goes, what exactly happened to Mary Celeste? Hey friends, don't forget to subscribe to not miss out on upcoming mysteries, and most importantly, share your thoughts in the comments. This story is far from over, and we want to experience it with you.